Okay, sorry guys for the delay. Okay, let's start. Okay, so this morning I would like to cover a bit more on inventory. After inventory, audit report, how to answer audit report question. Okay, and on evening after we have come back from our lunch break, relating to your going concern and also subsequent event. Okay, so let's go. Right now for inventory. The most famous methods tested by examiner. Okay. All right. So examiner can ask inventory. Okay. The most famous one is under SP, your substantive procedure. Okay. Now, when it comes to inventory, you must first determine nature of the company. Okay. Let's say if your client is a retail company, then their inventory would comprise of a normal goods lah, or finished goods lah, and comprise of just goods lah. Okay. However, if your client is a manufacturing company, okay, if your client is a manufacturing company, then inventory comprise of raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. Okay, and this that work in progress, it is based on the percentage of completion. Okay, all right. Okay, so to answer substantive procedure relating to inventory, as usual, think of your analytical procedure. Compare inventory over days. What else? I think just two lah. Or you can compare inventory by okay, I think just two lah. Okay. Apa lagi possible analytical procedure for inventory? Compare by category for current year against prior year. I think also acceptable. Okay. All right. So number 2, since this is inventory, it is balance sheet item, it is a SOFP item, SOFP item. Therefore, the related assertion would be CREV. Completeness, rights, existence, and valuation. Of course, examiner love to test you about valuation. Okay, because valuation, you can think about your IAS2. IAS2 is talking about the cost and NRV. Okay, so if you perform procedure to verify cost, to verify NRV, or you want to perform procedure to verify cost to sell, okay, yes, it is fall under the category of valuation assertion. Okay, and as per what I mentioned before, number 2, you can think of the point of view of possible deduction. Possible deduction for revenue. Okay, for revenue pula, for inventory. So the common deduction for inventory is any inventory that should be written down to NRV. Okay, why? Perhaps because of obsolete. Because of obsolete. Maybe because of low demand. Maybe they sell at discounted price. Okay, so now the value has gone below the cost. Okay, what else? Maybe certain inventory should be written off. Written off means that zero rise. So when this happen, when there is a damaged inventory, okay, or if NRV is zero, meaning that there's no one want to buy anymore lah. So that's why the amount is NRV is zero, then you should write off those inventory. Okay, what else? Okay, I'm not sure whether you ever heard of this. We have allowance for slow moving stock. Okay, the concept is exactly the same as per allowance for receivable, allowance for doubtful debt. So for inventory, there will be, a company can generate report from their system. This report called inventory aging. Okay, so this is the documents auditor would request to look into how long certain inventory has been in the warehouse. Okay, so let's say they have a lot of column right here. So one of the column here is perhaps more than 2 years. Okay, so auditor is going to investigate why this item is still in the warehouse. Is it not sellable anymore? If it is not sellable anymore, have you provide or recognize allowance for slow moving stock? Okay, so yeah, so we have to, the company should quantify lah how much is the inventory which is slow moving lah. Just slow moving. It's not really sellable anymore. Okay, let's say the value here is 500,000. So they have to deduct lah inventory. Let's say inventory 1 million, deduct 500,000 allowance for slow moving stock. Okay, what else? Yeah, this. Okay. Yeah. That one is for evaluation. The most tested assertion relating to inventory. Okay, of course, if you want to look into existence, you are going to physically inspect. Okay, rights. Rights. Okay, rights. I want to make you aware of this. There is one term in inventory called consignment inventory. Consignment inventory is not belong to the company. Okay, it's not belong to the company. Okay, you imagine Tesco, Lotus. Okay, they have a lot of items, goods kan, at their premise. So some of the item is not even theirs. The supplier just put the item at Lotus so that Lotus can help them to sell. Okay, so if any of the item remain unsold, those supplier can take it back lah, boleh ambil balik. Inventory tu bawa balik diorang punya premise. Okay, so yeah, for consignment inventory, it is not belongs to the company. Not belong to the company. Okay, this is just maybe I saw once in exam, I cannot remember which sitting, talk about consignment inventory, but the examiner doesn't really test student about consignment inventory yet. So my concern would be what if, suddenly they test about consignment inventory in a substantive procedure. Okay, completeness, there's a lot of points for completeness. When you are comparing, in a way, yes, you are testing on the completeness. Okay, and when you obtain listing, cast that listing and agree to the FS, also considered to be completeness. Okay, all right, what else? Yeah. Okay, so this is something that you need to consider before you start writing your answer for substantive procedure. Okay, so let's move on. Later on, we look into question relating to this. All right. Examiner can also test you in relation to inventory count. Inventory count. Usually, this one appear in internal control question. Usually appear in internal control question. Okay, so I have some notes for this one. Just a very simple notes. So you can take it down now, okay? Alright, so when it comes to inventory, okay, it is in FS, it is quantity times price per unit. Okay, so price per unit, of course, we are going to look into the invoice and so on. Okay, but when it comes to quantity, auditor is going to verify this via attend inventory count. Attend inventory count. Attend inventory count. Okay, so when auditor attend inventory count, they are going to focus on how inventory count being carried out. Okay, so there's a two possibility, either okay or not okay. Okay means can rely on the quantity reported by client. Okay. So if not okay, if the internal control during that inventory count is not okay, then auditor is not going to rely on quantity. Auditor not rely on quantity reported by client. Okay, so perhaps auditor is going to recount a lot more samples. Recount a lot more samples. Okay, for example, for this one, maybe auditor recount about 20 samples. So if auditor is not happy with the internal control during the inventory count, perhaps they extend to around 100 samples. Okay, so that is the idea why auditor attend inventory count and what is the concern of auditor when they are attending inventory count. Okay, right now, what are the best practice? Sorry, I want to ask my masterclass student. I haven't go through inventory count cycle, kan? Okay, so best practice for inventory count. Okay, best practice for inventory count. Okay, number one, it should be supervised by someone independent of the warehouse. Okay, if warehouse manager supervise the inventory count, no. Okay, if we, let's say, finance manager or finance controller, yes, can, because finance manager is independent of the warehouse. Why do we need to have someone independent to supervise the inventory count? Because to make sure any discrepancies can be detected and reported. Go on. Hello. Okay, to make sure any discrepancy can be detected and reported. So, warehouse manager, okay, if he is the one in charge on that inventory count day, so warehouse manager can hide those discrepancies lah. Okay, because it will be, that is your department for you to take care of, and if you if you find out there is something wrong in the warehouse during that inventory count, you will be reluctant to highlight to the top management. Okay, next. Counter, not say counter. Okay lah, counter should be in pair. Okay, one counter. Okay, the job scope is the first person would count and the second person would check. So one counter, one checker. Okay, one counter, one checker. I think you can imagine why lah, because any issues kan. So the first person need to count and the second person need to count again for the purpose of checking the first counting. If both of them are counter, meaning that both of them are maybe, the first person cover this area, the second person cover this area. So there will be no checking during that inventory count. Okay, so we could have a lot of counter in pair. Okay, not only 2% lah. Usually the whole department or the whole company would involve in this inventory count, because we imagine company like Eon, Lotus, their goods is so sangat banyak kan, at the selling, apa kita panggil? Dia panggil selling floor. At the selling floor pun dah banyak, dekat warehouse kat belakang sana pun lagi banyak. So they need basically everyone lah in the company to help to count. Okay, number 3. Counter should be independent. Independent from warehouse as well. Okay, unless short of staff. Okay, so must be something like this lah. For example, this one from IT, this one from sales. Can. However, if short of staff, then maybe this one is from finance, then the other one is from the warehouse. Okay, this one is permissible, allowable if the company short in the number of staff. Okay, number 4. So this counter, which maybe we have 10 pair or 20 pair or even 30 pair, okay, they are going to receive. Counter should receive inventory count instruction. Inventory count instruction at least 1 day before the inventory count day. Okay, so that they know what is their responsibility. They have some ideas on what to do, okay, on that inventory count. Okay, we want to make sure that during that inventory count day, all the process will be smooth. So that's why must at least distribute inventory count instruction at least a day before. Okay, what's next? Okay, I think this is number 4, number 5. Okay, so everyone, I mean, all the counter will receive one piece of paper not one, many piece of paper. Okay, to jot down the quantity of item that they counted. Okay, and this paper, the name is inventory count sheet. Okay, it's just a piece of paper. If you ever ordered at kopitiam, you would put your orders kan in the small piece of paper. Inventory count sheet ni dia cuma besar sikit je daripada order paper tu. But anyway, inventory count sheet should be sequentially pre-numbered. Okay, so there's a lot of paper here. So maybe the first one would start with 001, and the next paper would start with 002, 003, okay, up until, I don't know, maybe 3000. Okay, so inventory count sheet must be sequentially pre-numbered and exclude the quantity of the item. Okay, so this is the inventory count sheet. So maybe this inventory count sheet already highlight what is the item to be counted. So let's say this is a shoes manufacturer. Okay, so let's say shoes type ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there will be a empty box here, which the counter should count these shoes and then put in the quantity here. Okay, after that, counter should sign. And after that, checker recount, confirm, and checker need to sign here. Okay, and then they are going to move to the next piece of paper for the next item. Okay, apa ni? Yeah. Okay, so number 6, items counted must be flag, or you put any indication that it has been counted. It could be in the form of sticky notes. Okay, why do we do this? Because we want to avoid double counting. Okay, why we do this? Why documents should be sequentially pre-numbered? Because we want to make it easier to detect missing inventory count sheet. Okay, if this inventory count sheet do not have any sequentially pre-numbered, we wouldn't know if some of the inventory count sheet went missing. Okay, hold on. Apa tu? Apa lagi yang tertinggal? Okay, next, number 7. Sorry, ni tak sihat sangat pula. Okay, damaged item should be kept aside before counting and still include in inventory count. Okay, so for those damaged item, you maybe slightly damaged. Okay, you don't simply throw damaged item. Keep it separately. Okay, or should be bolehlah kept aside, or keep it separately, and you are still going to calculate that or count that damaged item. Okay, but the thing is, for the damaged item, the finance director or the finance manager lah, together with the warehouse manager, should value those damaged item. Okay, tak apa, nanti I tulis notes kat sini. Okay, so you don't simply throw damaged item. So warehouse manager, if you can simply throw damaged item, our concern would be, what if the counter simply throw some item, claiming that those item is damaged, and maybe curi item tu, steal that item and then claim that item to be damaged. Okay, so that's why that is not the best practice to just throw damaged item. So warehouse manager together with finance manager should value, apa teruk sangat punya handwriting hari ni, should value damage item. Okay, so it's either result to write down or write off. Okay, right. Alright, number 9. No movement of inventory in and out. Okay, number 10. No production of inventory during the count. Okay. Okay, what else? What else? Yeah, I think that's all. Oh yeah, last one. Number 11. Inventory count. Supervisor should collect all inventory count sheet. Okay, and perform sequence check to ensure no inventory count sheet is missing. Okay, alright, done. Okay, we take a toilet break for a while. Oh my, we take a toilet break for a while, and then when we come back, we look into one question relating to this. Okay, that's a quick one lah. I don't want to spend too much time for this inventory count cycle because this is not the exam pattern, for the latest pattern. Examiner test, on few items, on few cycle instead of just one cycle. Okay, so let's go for a toilet break. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. All right. As per what in the chat box, Farzana also shared that yeah, third party punya inventory. Third party is inventory is relating to the consignment inventory lah, which is third party inventory. Third party inventory should be kept separately as well. Kept separately and do not count. Do not count because that is not belongs to the company. Okay, what else? Inventory count sheet should be blank. Yeah, blank on the quantity. Okay, blank on the quantity. Quantity box remain blank. Yeah, it should be blank lah. And yeah, you should fill in. The best practice is to fill in using ink pen. Why? Because we want to avoid unauthorized changes. Unauthorized changes. Okay, all right. So thank you, Fatana, for extra input. Okay, I think this is sufficient. Okay, so let's look into question relating to inventory count. Hold on, I'll extract the question for you here. If you have PTP practice revision kit, you can look into the question of Lily window class. If you don't have that question, hold on. One. Okay, you can get the answer. You can get the question from the chat box. But hold on, I will upload in the Timba Flats as well. If you would like to download from Timba Flats under class material. Okay. We are going to not really answer lah, but because I don't want to spend so much time on this type of question, I just want to make sure that you are aware that there is a internal control question relating to inventory count. Okay, so guys, based on the notes I've given you, can you quickly identify at least six deficiency in this scenario? Okay, so I give you around up to you lah. I think after you have done, you type done in the chat box. Okay, then after 5 to 6% done, then we can go through together. Okay, give it a try. Identify six inventory count deficiency in this scenario. Okay, cool. Anyone else done? And update in. Okay, 2 done. Perhaps we wait for another 3%. Take your time. Done, 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 done. One more, one more, one more. Okay. Okay, good. When you, if you can even identify the, if you can identify the weaknesses, I am happy already. Okay. So now it's just a matter of you explain why those methods are considered to be deficiency. Okay. I will highlight to you which are the points considered to be weaknesses. Okay. Then compare with your answer. Okay. So for here is because of this. Okay. For this one, no specific counter and checker. Okay. So this one, counted area is not flat. So might be the double counted. Internal audit, this one add on in your notes. IA is supposed to, internal auditor is supposed to monitor inventory count only, not part of counter. What is this? Okay, so if the separate sheet not numbered, they would, well, yeah, if the sheet not numbered, I think this one is quite straightforward. That's all we discussed on the reason. Okay. Next, the image item left where they are, continue to be movement. Okay. And the last one, warehouse manager would like to perform tasks which previously done by specialists. Okay. Okay. Now on the reason, warehouse manager cannot supervise the count because he is not independent, so might hide any error or hide any issues encountered during the inventory count. Okay, so this question is about recommendation. So recommendation you can put in as per notes just now, as per notes that we read together just now. Okay, which is the supervisor of inventory count should be from someone from independent from the warehouse. You can give example such as finance manager. Okay, so for the second issue, no specific counter and checker, therefore all will count, but no one check. So quantity might be inaccurate. All right, on the flag you can say might be double counted. Okay, or it is not felt that the table to flag that everyone's counted. Yeah, so it could be result to in a double counting. Okay, next, internal auditor. It's not supposed to monitor inventory count. Okay, the task of internal auditor should only review. Why? Because why internal auditor cannot? Okay, the reason is because internal auditor could be in charge in assessing internal control during the count. So if they are the one who join, be part of the team, and they have to assess internal control during the inventory count, so they cannot be objective. They cannot be objective. They cannot be independent lah. Okay, next. What is this? Yeah, there are some items which is not on their sheet. If they have to calculate, it will be on a separate sheet and not numbered. So this one, if I am a student, I'm going to address, or I'm going to explain on the simple issues, which is risk of when missing. Risk of when missing. So what happens if those inventory count sheet when missing? Of course, it will be excluded lah in the list, in the count. Therefore, quantity will be understated. Okay, quantity will be understated. Okay, next, damage item left where they are. You can bring in the issues of what is counted as per normal item. Counted as per normal item. Okay, and what else? Yeah, counted as per normal item, and apa ya? Counted as per normal item. Yeah, and then one more maybe we can add on. Therefore, finance manager unable to assess the NRV. Why? Because counted as per normal item, did not kept separately. So they treat those damage item as per normal item lah. All right, next, movement. Why can't we have movement? This is the reason, because there will be risk of double counting or not count at all. You imagine movement of raw mat in and out of the warehouse. Let's say at location A, we already count that goods. Okay, and that goods move to location B and counted at location B, recount again. Okay, double counting. Or it could be not count at all. When the good is located at location A, no one count because everyone is at location B. So let's say the movement is the goods has been transferred to location B. Now there's no one at location B. Everyone is at location A. Okay, so there is chance of not count at all. Right, last one, because they have some special methods to calculate their raw material files. So previously done by the specialist, but now the warehouse manager feels that he is confident to undertake this task. So we can argue in saying that may not be qualified enough. May not be qualified enough to undertake this task. Okay, so it could result in error in measuring the raw materials files. Okay, done. Any points? Is there any points which you identified but I did not highlight in the script? Farzana, madam, tak boleh kau dia buat production on the day of inventory count, tapi dia buat separate. Okay, if let's say company would like to still continue their operation, can only if the company have no choice. Okay, so alright, so this is the best practice lah. If production still ongoing, okay, examiner will put in something like because there is an urgent demand, urgent order to be met. Okay, so the procedure is all the raw mat that should be used in the production. Okay, you move to production facility. Okay, before counting. Okay, and then one more thing is will be considered as WIP. So whatever raw materials that you need to use for that production purpose, you put in at one place, which is at the production area lah. And everything, all the raw materials there. Kalau dah jalan lah. Kalau tak jalan lagi, tak apalah. Okay? It will be considered as work in progress. So, I don't know, 10%, 20%. Okay, up to at the point of time or expected percentage by at the end of the day. If at the end of the day, management mentioned that expected WIP will be 20%, then you calculate as 20% lah of the goods. Okay. Alright, so in exam, choose the best 6 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in my screen now, I think I have about 6 or 7. And so in exam, choose the best 6 that you are confident you can explain well in exam. And you can, you have a good recommendation for those risks or for those deficiency that you pick. Okay, and then only you start to type your answer. Answer planning is very important. If you cannot do your answer planning at the screen, do it here in your mind. Okay, let's say if you're stuck, kan? If let's say, oh, you want to talk about this, but you don't know what is the good recommendation, so just leave it. Okay, and try to choose another deficiencies. Okay, done. All right, one more. Okay, done. Is there any other issues here related to inventory count cycle? It's very easy. If this question come out in exam, usually back then my student can score full mark, but because the issue is actually not relating to inventory count, all the issues is about the same. Okay, which is why I think nowadays examiner doesn't really favor in testing on inventory count alone. Perhaps if they want to test on inventory count, perhaps that's part of it only. Dah lama dah ni tak keluar inventory count cycle ni, so that's why I focus a bit lah, just in case. Alright, any other? No? Okay. If no, I would like to bring your attention to the chat box. Okay. Oh, sorry. Bukan. We look into, alright guys, we look into this question right here. Mana pula soalan ni? Okay, this question right here is a question in your module, a second substantive procedure question. Okay, so I want you to bring your attention to this one, the second one, inventory count. Okay, so let's look into the requirement first. Alright, requirement B. Describe the audit procedures. Guys, examiner use audit procedure instead of substantive procedure because this is relating to the counting. It is not relating to amount of inventory in the FS. So that's why auditor use auditor pula. Examiner requires from you to describe audit procedure. Okay, the auditor should perform as part of the audit of Spinach Co. before and during the inventory count. Okay, so the meaning of this requirement is what should auditor do before attend inventory count and during that inventory count, because auditor is going to attend that inventory count. So what are the auditor buat apa time attend inventory count tu? What are the things to be done by the auditor during that inventory count? Okay, so 6 marks. Let's put it this way: 3 here, 3 here. Okay, 3 here, 3 before, 3 during. Alright, let's look into the required scenario. So scenario, this one, I believe it is just a guide for you, perhaps to help you in remembering or recall what are the possible answer. Okay, so Spinach Co. forecast a year-end inventory balance of 9.3 million. The company undertake continuous production and full year inventory count will be carried out on 31st July. Spinach Co. raw materials and finished goods inventory are stored in 6 warehouses and located across the country. Okay, I think we forgot some, we have to identify. Okay, this client, they are the manufacturing company of garden furniture. Okay, alright, so they have 6 warehouses located across the country. The company has 1 factory site and, okay, so they have 1 factory, 6 warehouse. And it is expected that there will be no significant WIP held at the end. Each inventory count will be supervised by a member of Spinach Co. internal audit department. There will be no movements of goods and in and out of the warehouse during the count. Sweet corn and co will only attend some of the count, meaning that they have 6, perhaps we are going to attend only 3 or only 4. Okay, because we are let in, usually the auditor will let in manpower to attend all the inventory count. Alright, the largest warehouse, second paragraph. The largest warehouse is located at the factory site, and around 10% of this warehouse space is rented out to the third-party company. So this is actually hint that examiner would like you to talk about inventory belongs to the third party, because it seems that warehouse owned by this company, some of the space they rent out to the third party, meaning that perhaps around that rented space there will be a third party inventory. So we are not going to, we as auditor, we should make sure that those items are not being counted as part of our item. Okay, which store its inventory of cleaning products there? The finance director has explained that the third party inventory is located in one specific area of the warehouse. Okay, so okay, all right. So let's jump straight to the answer. Hold on. Okay, so the common answer for this type of question, you can use a general answer, but maybe a bit change a bit to tailor to the scenario. Okay, so I have shared with you this file. How do I? Okay, all right. So this is a common answer or general answer relating to procedure to be done by auditor before the count and during the count. Okay, before the count here, you can imagine 1 week prior. Oopsie. 1 week prior to counting, to the count. Okay, so first thing first, as auditor, if we are going to attend inventory count, okay, we must first look into prior year working paper or prior year audit files. Why? Because we want to identify this. what are the usual issues, because you want to be prepared. You want to be prepared. You don't want surprise. So you want to identify in advance what are the possible issues during the inventory count which already happened prior year. Perhaps it could happen again. Okay, so number two, you ask the management, is there any new warehouse? Okay, or have experienced significant control issues? Yeah. Is there any new warehouse? And what are the issues with that new warehouse? So is it applicable in the question just now? I think yes. Yeah, they have. Is there any new warehouse? Yeah. Okay, no. Okay, so but yeah, this is applicable. I mean, you can talk to the management if they have any new warehouse during the year, just to make sure that you are covering the whole warehouse under the company. Okay, next, decide which of the, in this case, six warehouse the audit team will attend based this on the materiality and risk of each site. So out of six, maybe you want to consider the biggest three warehouse or biggest two warehouse and then one risky warehouse. Okay, risky warehouse, and perhaps those warehouse where when you read the previous year working paper, you know that there's a lot of issues. Okay, so you might want to attend those warehouse. Okay, this is important. Contact your client, ask for a copy of the inventory count instruction. You read those instructions, and you identify what are the weaknesses. Okay, if possible, you talk to the management to amend those instructions. If no chance to amend those instructions, then you just go with it lah. Okay, kita consider later on whether how serious it is during the count. Okay, so you read inventory count instruction. Why do you want to read? Because you want to identify weaknesses. Okay, and discuss with the management. Maybe we can ask them to rectify or to improve certain instruction. Okay, before. So choose three out of this and include in your answer. Okay, next, during the count. During the count, guys, it's actually more or less like my notes. Okay, for example, observe the procedure to make sure no movement. Okay, what else? Confirm the procedure to make sure that damaged goods are segregated, meaning that kept separately. Okay, what else? Okay, obtain a photocopy of a sequentially numbered inventory sheet. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, observe the counting team to make sure that or to identify if they are following the inventory count instruction. Okay, so more or less you can use the knowledge from my notes, okay, to perform procedure during the count. So of course during the count, then we want to make sure there's no production, there's no movement, all the damaged asset has been kept separately. We want to observe who is the supervisor during the count. Okay, what do they do with the inventory? Inventory belongs to third party. Okay, all of this is applicable during the count. So to me, during the count is slightly easier than before the count. So if you want to maybe where is it? My question just now. Okay, if you want to put this as 4, this one 2, yes, you can. Please do so. Okay, done. That one is before and during the count. Okay, one more. I know you want to break, but one more. We look into substantive procedure for inventory. Hold on. So kenapa ni? Okay, this question. Okay, I share with you in the chat box. Salah hijab pula, Big Doc. If you have BPP PRK, page 87. Okay, page 87. It is question of March, June 2021. March, June 2021. Okay, perfect, cool. Okay, we look into one only, which is requirement A. Okay, so let's go straight away to the requirement. So describe substantive procedure the auditor should perform to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence in relation to the matters identified regarding the inventory valuation, guys, valuation of Vegodoc product. Okay, now let's look into the background of this company. So they are a manufacturing company, so you can expect there will be raw mat, WIP, and finished goods. Okay, they sell variety of food for dogs and cats. Your firm audited the company for a number of years, and you are about to commence the final audit for the year ended 31st March. Okay, and the draft FL show PBT of this much and total asset of this much. Okay, now Vegodoc. Okay, perfect. Who launched a new brand of Vegodoc food, okay, which is Vegodoc, in December, but sales have been lower than expected, and the directors, why is BPP punya spending like this? And the directors are considering a discounted sales price. Discounted sales price is actually indication that an RV could be lesser than cost. Is indication that now NRV could be lower than its cost. Okay, next. So Vago dot product are valued using a standard costing method. And the standard costing comprised of raw mats, direct labor or labor cost, and production overhead. So examiner give you some hint, or they would like to help you in explain what is the standard costing, and hopefully you can generate answer relating to this. Okay, so in my opinion, actually this is one mark here, 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 4 marks. Okay, as at 31st March, Vago dot product with a standard cost of 2.4 million were included as finished goods in inventory. Okay, all right. So apart from this, you can also use your analytical procedure. You can compare total inventory, since there's no information given here, okay? Inventory for the current year against prior year. Okay, on top of that, you can also compare turnover days. Turnover days for current year against prior year. Now, these two is actually meet the valuation assertion. Here go. Hold on. Sorry. This one cannot. The general one cannot. It doesn't meet valuation assertion. But for if you want to compare turnover days, inventory turnover days, yes, it is. It meets the valuation assertion for inventory. The reason is because when you compare turnover days, if let's say the turnover days is from 30 days to 60 days. Okay, so it means this turnover days means company took longer time to sell their goods. So there will be indication that perhaps the goods is not is low in demand. Okay, there's no one wants to buy the goods anymore. There's no one wants to buy dog food from Perfectco anymore. So that brings the issues of, maybe now NRV is lower than its cost again. Okay, so that's why when you compare ratios, especially turnover days, it meets, dia kena dengan valuation assertion. Okay, so therefore you can safely say that this is answer number 5. Okay, so examiner asked for 6. What are other answer? Okay. A general points. When it comes to standard costing, you can simply recalculate. Okay, this is something that you should do, recalculate the standard costing for samples of the product to ensure mathematical accuracy and valuation. Okay, can. Ada lagi lah, nanti I share dengan you. Alright, so do you want my answer or you want to attempt on your own first? You can make use of the notes I've given you before this. Okay, this is my notes relating to substantive procedure. Okay, this one. Hold on. Okay, so some of the answer you can use from here. Okay, try guys. You can give it a try for that question just now, because that is a very, 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 I think every sitting examiner will include. If not in section D, examiner will include in section A. Okay, so give it a try. This question just now. Where is it? The module. Okay, give it a try. 6 marks. You can type in the chat box, and I will pick one best answer for us to share. Okay, give it a try. Done, guys? Any problem? Apa lah nak cuba buat ni kan? What is this? What is this? What is this? Any other answer? No? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to, okay, let's brief this answer. Okay, so number one, relating to the raw material. Okay, Farzana. Okay, yeah, sorry. Let's start with compare first. So I would say compare inventory turnover days. Okay, for current year against prior year. Just like Farzana's answer, number one. Okay, to investigate any significant difference. Okay, that's number one. Number two, raw materials. Okay, raw materials. I agree with Izwan's answer. Agree the valuations of the raw mats to purchase invoice and price list. Okay, but perhaps I want to add in one more thing, which is agree the valuation of raw mat in standard costing. Poli mana? Poli panja? Oh, ikan bilis. Agree the valuations. Sorry guys. Agree the valuations of raw mat in the standard costing. Okay, raw mat in the standard costing too. Meaning that we are going to verify the raw materials. Sorry, in standard costing we have raw mat, direct labor, and overhead. So I'm focusing on that raw mat in the standard costing. Okay, to purchase invoice and price list. Okay, to ensure can lah, accuracy and valuation. Okay, so number three. Okay, as per Izwan's answer, he mentioned payroll records can. In Hassan's answer, he mentioned timesheet also can. So you can okay, then let's put it this way. Agree the valuations of direct labor in standard costing to timesheet and payroll records. Okay, done. To ensure accuracy and valuation. Actually, this part only also can lah, because we know that every of the answer given here is to satisfy that valuation assertion. Okay, and then answer number four, relating to the production overhead. Okay, for production overhead, as auditor, our concern would be we just want to make sure that all overhead costs is directly attributable to the production. So yeah, I think you can use Hasnul answer. Number two, he obtained breakdown for overhead costs from the management or management accountant can to ensure that the cost in overhead is directly attributable to overhead. Okay, can. Sorry, not attributable to overhead, directly attributable to the production. Hasnul boleh tak you tolong copy ayat tu and amend hujung tu. Directly attributable to the production. Attributable to the production. Okay, that's number four. Number five. Okay, number five. Okay, recalculate. Let me look for recalculate. Okay, I make use of your answer. Recalculate the standard costing used. Okay, for finished goods, which based on raw materials. labor cost and overhead to confirm mathematical accuracy. Okay, let's refer to the chat box for points number 5. Points number 5. Okay, what else? Do they have WIP here? Yeah, I think you can include WIP here since this is a manufacturing company. So even though they did not mention they have WIP, for sure they have a WIP. Okay, so you can use for the answer. Number 5. Okay, we calculate the percentage of completions of work in progress. Confirm that it has correctly valued in the inventory listing. Okay, can. So that will be your answer number 6. Okay, yeah, I think I'm done for inventory. What I'm trying to highlight to you here for inventory. Okay, let's have a quick recap. Examiner can ask you relating to internal control, audit procedure during and before inventory count. Okay, and also substantive procedure. Substantive procedure, please look into the nature of the entity first, whether they are manufacturing or a retail company. Retail company, please don't use standard costing. Do not include answer which relating to the standard costing. Okay, if this is a retail company. For manufacturing company, yes. I like company yang nature dia is manufacturing company, because then we would have a lot of choice of answer to be put into our answer. Alright? So I think I'm done for inventory. Okay. So I think do you want to take a break or terus je a bit on audit report? Fazana nak break dulu ke nak terus je? Nak jawab soalan ni or relating to audit report? I think today we stop at 12 lah. Okay, because I need to go somewhere for a while after this. Okay, yeah, let's continue. If you would like to go for a toilet break, then go on terus je. So that kita boleh habis awal sikit, kita habis pukul 12 ke? Nanti kita sambung pukul 2. Okay, so now last part in your exam. Okay, usually in your exam, the last ever question usually is relating to audit report. Audit report. Okay, so 5 marks, around 5 marks. Alright, now, so this is the usual question tested in exam. So let's read this requirement together. Okay, discuss the issue and describe the impact on auditor's report, if any, should this issue remain unresolved. Okay, 5 marks. So I would say, tak ada apa lah. So this is the step. This is what should be included in your answer. So step 1 is summarize the issue. Summarize the issue. Okay, step 2, calculate materiality of misstatement. You have to remember this question relating to audit report. The point of view of this question is relating to the point of view is the audit team has done performing the procedure. Now they have some findings, those findings may include they found a misstatement in the FS. Okay, and yeah, partner will consider this misstatement. If remain unresolved, what are the impact to the auditor's report? Okay, step 3, you identify whether this is issues of financial statement contain material misstatement or auditor unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence. Okay, sometimes issues highlighted by auditor is not relating to misstatement, but sometimes it's relating to they unable to obtain evidence due to whatever reason lah. Sometimes due to fire, sometimes due to flood, or sometimes management impose restriction to the auditor. Okay, so step 4, you have to determine whether this issue is material only but not pervasive, or material and pervasive plus justify. Okay, step 5, your opinion. Thank you. Step 5, your opinion. Okay, step 6, basis for opinion. Okay, so to answer this question, make sure you have all these 6. My concern would be, I think this one only half mark lah. So that's why I include one more. Okay, now, summarize the issue. I think no problem. Calculate misstatement. How do you calculate misstatement? Okay, now, this question, during the audit of Pacific Co, provision for the legal claim, okay, during the audit of Pacific Co provision for legal claim, the audit team gathered evidence showing that provision should amount to 0.8 million. The finance director has suggested that no adjustment is made in 2000X5 financial statement, as he believes 0.5 million is a reasonable estimate, and that the difference of 0.3 million is not material. Okay, so examiner make it easy for you. They already highlighted to you that management record this much, but it should be this much. So the difference or the misstatement is 0.3 million. So you are going to calculate materiality, okay, using the difference, using the misstatement. So misstatement of, nama pula pen I ni. So misstatement of 0.3 million divide by apa? Okay, look into the, where is it? Yeah, this is the relative to the same. Okay, so you have to divide by revenue or whatever figure given here lah, and also PBT. Okay, so now you are going to divide 0.3 divide by how many just now? Doesn't matter lah, 0.3 divide by PBT. Okay, and of course time 100 lah, percent. Okay, so after that you are going to compare with the threshold. When you compare with revenue, if you get more than 0.5%, then it is material. When you compare with PBT, if you get more than 5%, therefore it is material. And if you compare with total asset, or you divide by total asset, if you get more than 1%, therefore it will be considered as material. Okay, so 0.3 divide by 45.2 million of revenue times 100, okay, is equal to 0.66%. So is the misstatement material? Yes. Okay, but don't forget to divide by PBT as well, this much. Okay, so 0.3 divided by 4.1 million times 100. So you will get 7.32%. So both are material, meaning that you can conclude that those misstatement of 0.3 million just now is material. Okay, I know some of you might be asking, what if I get this, like 0.4%? Meaning that when you calculate based on revenue, it is not material. Calculate based on PBT, it's material. So you can conclude it is material. Okay, if let's say this one, 4.32%, so it doesn't exceed the threshold of 5%. So you calculate over revenue, immaterial. You calculate over PBT, also immaterial. Therefore, you can conclude it is immaterial. Okay, alright. So now, okay, summarize the issues. Okay, that is how you calculate materiality. Okay, but apa tu? Okay, some question they put here. Okay, something like provision should amount to should amount to, let's say, 800,000. Okay, and they macam mana? Hold on, that one past your question. 0.8 million. Okay lah, never mind lah. Just be mindful in the exam question. Sometimes they only highlight this. They straight away highlight the misstatement amount. Sometimes they give this amount, but this amount is stated in the scenario like somewhere here. It's not in that. It's not included in the story here. Instead, it is in the different paragraph. Yeah, so I want you to be mindful on that lah. Okay, alright. So that one is for materiality. Okay, now number 3, you want to consider whether is this issues of FSCMM. I call this FSCMM. Okay, you want to consider if is this issues of FSCMM or is this issues of auditor unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence. So as per this question, it is quite obvious that this is issues of misstatement. If examiner would like to test you on issues on auto say, this one I call auto say. Ayo, my pen macam dah tak sensitive. Okay, they are going to say something like maybe management did not give permission to look into certain evidence, or maybe the company caught fire until evidence is not there. Okay, so you must know how to differentiate between these two issues. Is this issues FSCMM or is this issues of auto say? Okay, so I think this one is quite obvious. This is issues of FSCMM. Okay, next step is you have to consider, is this issues only material but not pervasive, or material and pervasive? Now, what is pervasive? Pervasive as per ACCA doesn't really rule out what is pervasive. Okay, but AA tutors across Malaysia already agree pervasive is basically severe. Pervasive is basically you have 5 or more issues. Okay, meaning that when you want to come up with opinion for the financial statement, there's a lot of issues. Perhaps revenue got issues, trade payable got issues, provision got issues, what else? Purchase got issues. There's a lot of issues at the same time. And all remain unresolved. Management refused to adjust. Okay, so therefore it is progressive. Or represent more than 60% of either revenue, total asset, or PBT. Okay, so when you calculate the materiality just now we get what? Tadi kita dapat 0.66 and 7.32, right? So if you calculate materiality and you get more than 60%, then yes, you can consider that issues to be a pervasive. Okay, or put turn profit to loss. Put turn profit to loss. Okay, for example, profit is 200,000. Okay, but just now we noticed that they understate provision by 300,000, right? So if they correct this misstatement, if they add on, recognize more expenses, now become loss of 100,000. Okay, so this situation also, you can say that it is pervasive. Right? So now, based on this guideline, what do you think of these issues? Is it pervasive or not pervasive? Out of all the financial statement, only provision contain misstatement, and that provision understated by around 7% of PBT and 0.6% of revenue. Do you think it is pervasive? What do you think? Pervasive or not pervasive? Is it severe enough? Okay, not pervasive. Okay, correct. So you have to remember this. As auditor, we are going to express opinion on the whole FS. Okay, so if only one or two accounts contain misstatement, okay, it is not severe enough for us to, it is not severe enough. It is not a serious issue enough lah. Yes, qualified opinion is not it's not nice, but it is not severe enough. Okay, and then you justify. Since you mentioned it is not pervasive, then you might want to justify. It is because you can say only affecting a few accounts. Okay, only affecting few accounts. Alright. Okay, now you derive at opinion. Okay, so please remember, this is my summarization of how to derive at opinion. So just now you calculate materiality. Okay, it is material if more than 0.5% of revenue. It is considered to be material if it is 1%, represent 1% of total asset. Or when you divide by PBT, you get more than 5%. It is considered to be material. So the next step is for you to identify if these issues of FNCMM or how to say. Okay, and then you consider for every issue that you identified, you consider if this material not pervasive or material plus pervasive. Okay, if you can scribble this during exam, yes, please, because this is actually your answer. This is actually your guideline. Okay, this is step number 1. This is step number 2. This is exactly how you should present your answer. Step number 2, step number 3, step number 4. Okay, and then from here you can derive at your opinion already. This one need to memorize a little bit lah. This one will lead to qualified except for opinion. Okay, this one will lead to adverse opinion. I hope you already learned about audit report with your previous lecturer or my spring class student, okay? Because relating to audit report, I can go, 3 hours straight only for audit report. Meaning to say that there's a lot of things under audit report. So I hope you already covered during your class, previous class. So this one also qualified except for. Okay, and last one, material not pervasive. If it is relating to auto say, then we are going to issue disclaimer of opinion. Okay, so now that you have this in your, you have already determined this, you already determined this. Now you reach at the appropriate opinion, which is qualified except for opinion. Okay, so in your answer, we will mention therefore, auditor will issue qualified except for opinion. Okay, right. This one I show to you how to put in your answer. Okay, so make sure you have this understanding on how to structure your answer for the last question. Okay, so summarize the issue, calculate the materiality, determine if this FSCMM or auto say. Okay, tips untuk summarize issue. Ni lah I nak buat demo lah ni. Okay, so let's go to the write up. Tak nak lah, page macam ni tak best. Mana tadi? Okay, so this is how you should present your answer. Okay, so something like legal claim. Summarize ni kita dah belajar kan masa sekolah menengah kan. So make use of that knowledge lah. I still remember in kelas bahasa Melayu, kelas bahasa Malaysia, we have to summarize kan, ringkasan. So legal claim, basically we are just going to repeat back whatever in the scenario. Okay, hold on. So legal claim should be 0.8 million instead of 0.5 million. Okay, recorded by management. We then put in this one. Therefore, or hence, provision is understated. Put in the impact to FS, understated by 0.3 million. Okay, put in this. Overstated by how much, understated by how much. Okay, now step 2, materiality. Misstatement of 0.3 million represent how many percent of revenue and how many percent of total asset. Don't forget to justify. Hence, justify pula, conclude. Hence, it is material or not material. Okay, to the FS. Okay, step 3. What was it just now? FSMM or auto C, right? Then you mentioned lah, this issue represent financial statement contain material misstatement since management refuse to adjust. Okay, as simple as that. Next, material MXP or M plus P together with the justification. So next, step 4, you sambung je, you use the same simple English. This issue is only material but not pervasive because only affecting few item in FS. Okay, the last one, now you derive at appropriate opinion, okay, by using this chart right here. Dalam kelas, master class saya ada bagi notes ke? Oh yeah, you can use this guys. This is my notes for audit report for my master class. Okay, so you can use you can look at this chart. Okay. You can look at this chart. Oh, I tak cover lagi additional paragraph. Okay, tak apa. Okay, where is it now? Where is my answer? Where is it? Hilang pula. Okay, so this issue only material but not pervasive. Okay, now, therefore, auditor will express what opinion as per guideline. This one. Okay, will express in this case qualified. Please include except for because if you mention qualified opinion only, it is wrong. Qualified opinion means, okay, when we say qualified opinion, it represent either one of these, like a general term lah. If we are going to issue a clean report, we are going to say unqualified opinion. So if it is not good, then the general term would be qualified opinion. But which of the qualified opinion? It could be this, and this. Okay, so that's why be clear, qualified except for opinion. Okay, now add in one more just to make sure that we get that a full 5 marks. Auditor will include, not auditor, basis for every time we issue, whatever opinion. Here. Okay, whenever we issue opinion, okay, this is our first paragraph. The next paragraph would be the place where, or the paragraph where we are going to explain why we issue such opinion. Okay, so if we are going to issue qualified except for opinion, therefore, the following paragraph would be, okay, something like this, basis for, then you put in basis for qualified opinion. Okay, will be inserted after opinion paragraph to further explain the issues or the misstatement. Okay, done. 5 marks. Simple je audit report ni kalau keluar soalan simple lah. Okay, so here if let's say you derive at disclaimer of opinion, therefore here would be basis for disclaimer of opinion. If you derive at adverse, then the following paragraph will be followed by basis for adverse opinion. Okay, as simple as that. So here put in the figure just now, 0.6 kan, and here is 7 point something just now. Right? 1 decimal place is enough, is sufficient. 1 decimal point, 1 decimal, yeah, 1 decimal point is sufficient. Okay. Okay, done. Any question on on how to answer audit report question. Quite easy, kan? You just have to memorize the chart just now, and you need to know how to differentiate between FSTMM and auto-save. You need to differentiate what is pervasive and what is not pervasive, and then you will get your answer. And just fill in the blank only during exam. Okay, but I want you to be mindful of the amount, the misstatement here. Make sure not to use 0.8 and do not use 0.5. This is wrong. You must use the misstatement to calculate the materiality. Do not use the supposed amount. Do not use the original amount. Make sure you identify the misstatement amount, then only you work from there lah. Okay, Farzana, madam, kalau management adjust, okay. If management adjust the misstatement, then there will be no misstatement lah. I mean, it will not impact our opinion. We are going to issue a good opinion, unmodified opinion. So examiner won't put in lah, or examiner dia takkan test you on what if management take up the adjustment, because the answer would be, oh, kalau take up adjustment, meaning that auditor will issue unmodified opinion lah. Macam no problem anymore. No problem anymore. What else? Okay, one more before we take a break, lunch break. What if examiner, what if when you calculate, you saw that the materiality is below the threshold, meaning that it is not material. So my suggestion would be this one, you put at the materiality, you adjust letak paling bawah. Okay, let's say you summarize the issues, then you say lah, you say that this issue represent I think you just mentioned that this issue represent financial statement contain misstatement, because it is not material, right? So we just say that this issue represent financial statement contain misstatement. But is it material? Not material. I don't think so lah. It is no. I don't think it is feasible. I don't think it is reasonable for examiner to test you on audit report of issues of immaterial. Kalau dalam soalan subsequent event, yes, some of the question is actually immaterial. Okay, the misstatement is immaterial. Itu nanti kita tengok lah petang nanti. Okay, kalau soalan audit report ni selalunya material lah. Kalau tak material, apa je yang nak cakap kan? Okay? So I think we stop here for the morning session. We continue around 2 because I have to go somewhere. And then after we come back, I'm going to brief you. We are going to continue on additional paragraph in audit report, such as KAM, Key Audit Matters, EOM, OI, OM, MERGC, okay, those kind of things, additional paragraph in exam, in audit report. And also we have a quick recap on going concern and subsequent event. Okay, and that will be the last part of spring class. So with that, I think I covered everything that I want to cover during this spring class. Okay, anything guys if you want me to add on something, please let me know. Anything else? Okay, during this break, if you would like me to have a quick recap on something, bukan reteach, recap on something, you can WhatsApp me, okay, so that I can arrange my time to squeeze in some of your areas of concern. Okay, so we start at 2 p.m. Okay guys, so see you in another around 2 hours.
Madam.
Yes. Apa Izwan?